Most of you have raised kids, but if you haven't, let me clue you in on something. When you become a parent, you have to accept two realities. Number one, your kids are not going to act like adults for a long time. They're not going to be able to make wise choices for themselves. If you've got a 3-year-old, you can't expect them to sit through a 30-minute sermon and be perfectly still. If you've got an 8-year-old, you can't expect her to willingly choose an apple when there's Reese's peanut butter cups sitting right there, right? You can't expect your 15-year-old to drive a car without your supervision. You just know this. That's one of the things you accept as a parent. Your kids don't act like adults. But the second thing you accept is it's nobody else's job but yours to train them to make those right decisions. That's what it means to be a parent, is to get them to the point where they choose to learn about God, where they choose to exercise some self-control, where they choose to live in ways that are responsible. That's your job as a parent. And see, that's what God is doing in the lives of every human being we know. He is wanting to save them, rescue them from this life where they are making bad choices, where they're getting further and further away from Him and His plan for their lives, where they're hurting themselves and hurting others, and make them into people who make the right choice, who thrive and live with joy and purpose and meaning and fulfillment. That's what He's doing in your life and in mine. And one of the ways you know you're getting there is you start to see your fellow human beings the way God does. Because God is invested in you, you want to invest in them. Because you know it makes Him happy when you do. And instead of having this transactional mindset that says, okay, Lord, I was in church this Sunday when I didn't really want to be, and I prayed yesterday morning, and I gave a tithe, and I wanted to cuss yesterday, but I didn't cuss. Lord, I've done all these things, so you owe me. Instead, your attitude is, Lord, you loved me when you didn't have to. I'm going to love somebody else when I don't have to. Which, by the way, not to pat us on the back, but that's our whole motive for emphasizing transforming relationships, is we want you to understand. And we want you to constantly remind yourself that the measure of my devotion to Christ isn't how often my rear end is in a pew. It's how often do I choose to love somebody else.